next incredible war is 3 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 12 wins and 3 losses. He stands 177 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 84.2 kilograms. Representing Team Universal Fighters and fighting out of Dagestan, Russia, please welcome Abusupyan Alikhanov. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 5 wins and 2 losses. He stands 177 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 83.8 kilograms. Representing K-Doja Warrior Tribe and fighting out of Fairfield, New Jersey, USA, by way of Russia. Give it up for Rustam, the Russian Bear, Chsiev.
Chsiev may be the elder fighter, but in terms of mixed martial arts, he doesn't have as much time on the clock. That may be an advantage, as he may be the fresher fighter. But Kirk, talk to me quickly about just how much of an influence and just how much of an MMA genius Master K is.
I want to talk to you quickly, Phil, about what I do believe is going to be the fight of the night. And a huge part of a huge part of the credit for that absolutely does go to Master K, who is an extraordinary grappling coach and as well can teach his fighters, look at that, can teach his fighters how to strike, and even more importantly, how to put them together.
That is incredible strength by the Russian Bear into the scarf takedown. Needs to be wary of getting his back taken in this position, but he's such an intelligent grappler. If I'm aware that he could get his back taken, I am sure Rustam Chsiev is more acutely aware of it than anybody else here.
Phil, that was absolutely the greatest expression of technique and of strength that we have seen tonight. Absolutely. Phenomenal takedown. Now there's going to be a scramble.
Good work by Abusupyan to get back up and initiate the break. But Rustam Chsiev, he's just got such incredible power in his hands too. Yes, predominantly a grappler, but uses that grappling to get the fight to the ground and invariably finishes with a KO or a TKO finish. Obviously coming from that southpaw stance, his entries into takedowns and clinches are a little bit different, as a southpaw is a rare breed in combat sports. Ironically, the Russian Bear just pawing with that jab.
That pawing, though, Phil, is very, very useful. What he's trying to do is get reads on the opponent. When he goes wide, what does his opponent do? Where does the hand go? He saw a read, tried to land a shot, and that was a big counter we saw right there. Good thing he pulled back. That would have been a short night for, as I said, what I do believe is going to be the fight of the night.
But with every fight that we see Chsiev in, his striking is evolving, is improving. He's becoming a very competent striker as well.
It's not just the technical competence of these shots. There's 2 other things I want to draw attention to. It's that they land with booming power and that he seamlessly puts them together with his takedowns.
It's a huge kick to the body again, coming from that southpaw stance. It's a pre-made kick to the liver. Abusupyan again, just so dangerous, as we said, riding a 3-fight win streak of his own.
Beautiful head movement from the southpaw, Rustam Chsiev.
Invariably what you see when you get 2 quality grapplers like this, the fight will predominantly play out on the ground, and that's kind of been the story of the fight so far, apart from that one takedown in the scarf from Chsiev. Oh, got caught with a shot there. Was trying the overhand left of his own and got caught with a counter lead left, I believe, from Abusupyan Alikhanov.
Brave Nation, watch the lead foot of both these 2 fighters. Both these fighters want to place their foot, just like you saw there, on the outside of the other fighter's lead foot. That opens up the center of the body to straight line attacks.
It becomes a little bit of a battle, doesn't it, Kieran? Abusupyan charging forward in the clinch. Attempted foot sweep from Chsiev. There's a little bit of tension in this fight. You feel like anything can and will happen in the next few seconds.
Both these fighters, Phil, have extraordinary power in their hands. A single shot, and I don't say this by any means about most fighters, a single shot like the one you saw there, if it landed cleanly with timing, could put the opponent out.
Chsiev needs to be careful of dropping his lead hand when he throws that big left overhand. The right hand is dropping ever so slightly. If Abusupyan becomes aware of that and then throws the legs of an uppercut or a counter hook himself, it may just land.
Brave Nation, you saw Abusupyan throwing shots not off his lead side, as would be customary, but off his rear side. That's what you have to do when you have mirrored stances to each other. When you have what's called an open stance, that lead hand is no longer as effective, and so you're relying on that rear hand, which is a little harder to land, but hits with a lot more power.
A little bit of head fighting going on here. Both these men battling for dominance. Nice little shot on the break. Big shot to the body from Chsiev. Oh, up elbow from Abusupyan. Shades of Anderson Silva against Tony the Freak Frickland.
His kicks are a little bit new wrinkle, and
oh, that was a beautifully timed kick to the inside.
Round ends. Terrific first round.
Legitimately on the edge of my seat during that fight. That's an illustration of how good both these guys are. As I say, when you have two big guys like this in the cage, anything can and will happen. Both throw heavy hands, both are incredible grapplers.
They both, Phil, have knockout power potential, and if it happens, it's not going to happen because they're throwing wild shots. It will be planned for, it will be set up, and we may see one of the setups right here on the Green Hill replay. That was a counter left hook from Abusupyan. He timed his opponent's movement, and boom, landed that left hand. It did have an effect. And there was what was absolutely the most beautiful, coolest fight, not of the night, but the coolest shot I have seen in a long time.
That was beautiful. Just ducks under and then pops up with the elbow. As I say, Anderson Silva-esque. To have the confidence in your striking to do that, it's okay to do that on the pads, but to do that in a fight,
especially when you're a big man of this size,
tells you everything you need to know about Abusupyan. Second round of a really, really fun, interesting, intriguing bout is underway.
Abusupyan stalking, Rustam moving that head.
Oh, head kick landed.
Abusupyan appears to think he's got a sense of his opponent's timing because he's throwing his punches in bunches now. He's throwing his strikes in bunches. He's not doing single shots.
Rustam trying to get in on the takedown. Rushes Abusupyan against the cage.
I was just going to say, but when you put too many shots together, it does leave you open to being taken down.
Sneaks the leg on the inside, goes back to the side of Abusupyan. Big shots. Trying to establish those double underhooks in that 50-50 over-under position, pressed against the cage right now.
Rustam working his elbow down, partially negating that underhook. He's got such a tight squeeze, such a tight clamp. He's taking some of his opponent's leverage away, trying to use that to move his opponent around. While the opponent's trying to regain his footing, he's going to try and sweep a leg out. Didn't think he saw what he needed. Still pressing.
And interestingly though, this is bread and butter for both men. Nice defense, a nice break from Abusupyan Alikhanov.
Interestingly, that time when there was a break, it was Abusupyan who threw the shots. Previously, it had been Rustam who would be coming out very intelligently, coming out of those little scrambles by throwing a shot.
Big shot over the top again there. But Rustam Chsiev is a fantastic pressure fighter, whether it be on the feet, and that is twice we have seen that coming off the big overhand from Chsiev. The leg kick timed beautifully, sweeping that leg right out from underneath Chsiev.
Abusupyan has a sense of his opponent's timing now. He has a sense of his footwork. He has a sense of the speed with which he comes forward, and maybe even a sense of what he's going to attack at. What you're seeing right here is very intelligent from Rustam. He's changing it up a little bit. He's not coming in with the shots anymore to him from the outside. He's trying to close, secure a body lock, take it down to the ground where he would be happiest.
What I like about the way Chsiev is approaching this, if he initiates the clinch and it gets broken off, he just takes a breath and gets right back in the face of Alikhanov. Again, there it is, a breath and then right back into it.
Chsiev is moving that head continuously, which is very, very wise. If that head stays on the center line, it may be a short night for him.
It's caught with a big right hand there, but again, like a zombie in a George A. Romero movie, he just keeps coming forward. Going down on that whizzer, may try and establish an underhook of his own.
An interesting test of size, of strength, of leverage, and skill to see who keeps who's back up against the Brave Combat Federation cage.
Also of endurance, because Kerry, I know we say this every time, but it's in the hope that maybe a new fan of mixed martial arts is watching. This is the most grueling, taxing, debilitating aspect of mixed martial arts. Being in that 50-50 clinch against the cage, it can be so draining.
Indeed, Phil, indeed. When people think of mixed martial arts, they think of a flying armbar, they think of a flying knee, they think of an explosive straight right hand. But sometimes the physiological needs are this. They're barely moving at all. They're the full use of all the strength in the body without movement. Referee wants to see some movement, separates them. I don't think anybody's going to complain. And they're back at it from the outside.
Nice kick to the body, but a lovely reply kick to the leg. Trip, grabbing the leg and then kick in the leg out from underneath Chsiev.
Chsiev looking for a switch, probably going to look for a stand-up now, but he may get some leverage on that switch. He can use it to sweep, to stand, to go behind, and he uses it to stand.
Nice work from Chsiev. Had constantly that base, tried the trip, denied heavy, heavy hips from Alikhanov.
What happened there, Brave Nation, was at this stage in the fight, both fighters are very slick with sweat. You can grab an elbow, you think you have the purchase you need to take your opponent down, but it pops out.
Nice work. I think that was an elbow attempted from Chsiev, but the momentum of that brought him right back chest to chest with Alikhanov. Shots landed on the break. Genuinely fantastic fight so far, Kerry. Both these guys so evenly matched. Little show of respect to one another.
All right, there's going to be a big question in both corners. What do you do? If I'm Master K and I'm not a thousandth the coach that he is, I tell his fighter, keep it standing a little bit and then go for that takedown with all you've got. Don't go for it naked right off the bat. You may have to take a shot or two to the head, but try and get him on the ground. What do you say in Abusupyan's corner?
You have to tell him it's all about anticipating the counter strike. Don't be there when Chsiev throws his shots, but be there quick enough to fire back with your own. There is a beautiful lead left hook that he's thrown a few times. When Chsiev, as I've said, throws the big power left, he leaves himself vulnerable on his right side. There is scope there for the likes of an uppercut coming from the right side of Abusupyan.
And as you're speaking, Phil, our Green Hill replay is narrating exactly what you're talking about. You do see the space there for that counter to land. Brave Nation, we are just seconds away from getting to the third and final round in this fight.
Absolutely razor close so far. I wouldn't even begin to know how to start scoring this fight. All I know is that I am entertained.
Time.
Again, that's beautiful timing from Abusupyan. Chsiev standing in front. Now Abusupyan trying to get in on a takedown of his own. Woo, how heavy are those hips?
How heavy are those hips?
That was ridiculous.
They're made out of uranium. I thought it was all over, and it wasn't.
Chsiev has to be one of the strongest guys in mixed martial arts.
Again, Brave Nation, this is there are different ways of showing power. You've got the competitions where people lift rocks over their head. This is harder. This is two people's bodies pushing against each other to the depth of their soul with all their muscle fiber. And right now, Rustam Chsiev seems to be in ascendancy.
Now up and again in this position, he's just forcing Alikhanov to wear his weight, to wear and bear the brunt of the pressure he's putting down. It's not just gravity pulling down on you, it's a Russian bear.
Rustam doing a nice job of keeping that head stuffed. When the head's stuffed, the esophagus collapses. It's much, much harder to breathe.
Potential here to set up the likes of a Darcer and Anaconda.
Given the length of his arms, I'm guessing an Anaconda is going to be more likely, but he is such an extraordinary grappler. Nothing would surprise me at this point from Rustam.
And what he did there was so subtle. He was against the cage, could feel the forward pressure of Abusupyan, and then just slowly, incrementally circled off into the open arena of the mat. Very, very smart. Technically, this is a beautiful fight. Great work from Alikhanov to get back to the feet. 3 minutes or so to go in the third and final round. If you are a fan of mixed martial arts, you are a fan of this fight, you are a fan of both these men.
Once again, I want to extend my deepest respect for and appreciation for the conditioning that these Russian fighters show. Being stuck under a double like that, having your head stuffed for 45 seconds or so, and then popping right up, showing everything you got, is yet another testament to the extraordinary conditioning of these athletes.
Now it's Alikhanov who's putting the pressure on. Chsiev has him forced against the cage. Midway point of the third and final round. Referee calling for a little bit of action.
Chsiev doing a really nice job here of moving just a little bit, seeing where the fighter's feet follow, and then looking to try and set up a foot sweep. It is one of his signature moves. Referee wants some room, wants to see a little more action.
Both these guys showing they have a fantastic gas tank too. Nice little slip there from Rustam.
Don't want to see Rustam throw that left body kick again. He's gotten countered 2-3 times in a row with an inside low kick off it. Oh, nicely checked. You heard that thump. That was bone on small bone.
Now, you know when you hear that dull thud instead of a slap that it hurt.
Brave Nation, it may not come through on the television, but there's a sound
standing Kimura.
On bone makes.
Standing Kimura attempt here, but this could parlay into a huge takedown. This is incredibly tense here.
Don't want to see any more of those kicks. Want to see head movement and hands from Rustam.
Does carry the hands a little bit low. Sure is exciting, and it does draw his opponent's in. It's also very, very dangerous. Trying to land that big left. Again, oh, that defense from Chsiev is incredible.
Phenomenal D, incredible range of motion.
And again,
legs, those hips are made of uranium.
That sprawl is as good as a strike, because it forces your opponent's head into the mat. Seconds to go. Can Rustam Chsiev make the claim to be the #1 contender in the middleweight division, or can Abusupyan Alikhanov steal the momentum of the Russian bear and announce himself as a threat on the global stage?
In all honesty, one huge shot could do it. One takedown could do it.
Gentlemen, that was right in front of us here in our broadcast position. It was like watching Jaws in 3D. They just came right at us. What a fight. Incredible fight from both men.
Brave Nation, there are some cards where it doesn't matter who the judges are or what they're doing. They're not necessary. The fights end in a knockout. They end in a tap out. The judges are going to have to do their work tonight.
Again, like I said to you after the second round, I wouldn't even know how to begin to score that fight. I just know that you're looking at two of the elite middleweights in global mixed martial arts right now. They left absolutely everything in that cage. Like I say, I am entertained. Both these men can make a claim to be a contender in the division. Fantastic fight.
Phil, honestly, it doesn't matter to me what number I hear from one side. No matter what I hear, I am not going to be able to complain with it. Absolutely fantastic, brilliantly match made, back and forth fight the whole entire time. All my respect to both of these warriors.
You can see it right now. Now, these gentlemen aren't gassed because they're not superior athletes. They just left absolutely everything in the cage.
Brave Nation, although Phil and I are sitting right next to the Roaring Thunder.
All right, Brave Nation, another incredible battle inside the Brave CF 55 Pro FC cage. After 3 amazing rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Your first judge scores about 29-29. Your next judge scores about 30-28. And your final judge scores about 30-29 for your winner. Out of the blue corner, Abusupyan Alikhanov.
There you have it, Brave Nation. One judge called a draw. 2 of them liked it for Abusupyan, and he is the fighter with his hands raised. He's receiving congratulations from his opponent, of course, from his corner, from his fans. As soon as there's a spare moment, as soon as there's a little break in the action, the Irish Thunder, Phil Campbell, is going to step in there and ask him just a couple of questions. You can see the disappointment written on the face of Rustam.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with a victorious Abusupyan Alikhanov. A fantastic performance. Give us your thoughts on the fight.
Итак, дамы и господа, я здесь сейчас с нашим победителем. Пожалуйста, поделитесь своими мыслями о своем поединке.